So from the looks of that picture, Christmas came a few days late for Glock fanboys, but better late than never, right? The Glock 43x and the Glock 48. I'm going to talk those guns really quick today. And from one of the sources that I've kind of bounced some things off, who's in the know on these handguns, it's pretty exciting. And I'm not sure if the pictures really tell the whole story of the 43x and 48 and how the current 43 kind of fills in there as well. So I took the measurements from Recoil Magazine's initial leak of the specs, and I started messing around with calipers the other day, and I'm trying to figure out what gun I own or had access to that would be about the footprint, not necessarily the thickness, the width, but the footprint of the 43x. And we'll talk 48 also here in just a little bit. Basically, if you're not familiar, the Glock 48 is going to be about a Glock 19 size single stack. So kind of a long slide 43. The 43x is going to be longer in the grip than the current 43 and a little bit wider in the grip as well. And I think that's exciting for a few reasons. Number one, options. It should excite people when we have more options brought to the gun market. Now, not every option is going to please you, but too many times we live in our own little bubble where we think that's a dumb gun because it's not something we like, even though the next guy might go, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So sometimes in the gun community, we get too much caught up in what our own wants and likes are versus what the market really is looking for. Number two, it's not innovative, but there's some modularity with this new setup. So the 43x and 48, if you go back and look at that picture on Recoil Magazine's site and the one that I put up at the beginning, the frame is the same on the 43x and the 48 from everything that I can see and according to measurements. The only difference is it's a long slide. And from what I understand also, and this could be wrong, this is speculative and kind of preliminary information, the original 43 slide would fit on these frames as well. So maybe you already have a 43 and maybe you don't quite like the thinness of it, but it was the best option for carry when you purchased it. Maybe you can hold out and you can keep that frame, or excuse me, you can keep your slide and then buy the 43x frame for something a little bit bigger. And I'm going to show you some measurements a little, and I've got the gun right here on the desk that the 43x footprint will compare best to as far as current guns that are out on the market right now. Now, people are going to compare it to the 365 and might even say the 365 killer. It's definitely going to be bigger than the 365, but you know what? Maybe that's a good thing. I've kind of applied some logic and some drawn from the facts that are out there on the 365 failures and the barrels being marked up and everything else. The lockup timing being a little off, being so small, causing primer swipe. Maybe a small polymer gun like the 365 is not best suited for the 9mm. Maybe. Just throwing that out there. It's just speculation, and I'm wondering over time it'll prove itself, but I'm wondering if that's the case. So it remains to be seen. Now, as you know, my 365 was great through 1,700 rounds. Never had a problem, but the facts are out there, and SIG fanboys have admitted, that there were issues. Too bad SIG didn't from the beginning and address them the proper way. It would have been nice. And that's not bashing the 365. Listen, guys, if they work these problems out and we can go for months and months and months without seeing a failure, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one again. I mean, so concealable, shootable, great sights, great trigger. It's almost the perfect handgun if it proves reliable. And remember from my videos on the 365 initially, I said, if it proves reliable, other companies are in trouble. So it yet remains to be seen if that's going to happen. So I'm rambling about the 365, and we're here to talk about the Glock 43x and the 48, but the 43x will be in that market, a single stack, smaller 9mm, and that's why I brought it up. So, on the other hand, the shield is always going to be a good option. It's very inexpensive. I know right now, Palmetto State Armory has the shield for $249.99. It's got the thumb safety, but from what I understand, those things are pretty much out of the way and aren't really a problem to deal with. So $250 with free shipping for a gun like the Shield, that's pretty sweet. So you're probably going, will you just shut up and tell us which gun compares best with the 43X? Yes, I will. And I'm going to show you the gun is empty, and it's the Walther PPS M2 with the 7-round mag. Footprint-wise, height and length is exactly the size of the 43X. Now you might be thinking, what do I have? What good is a 43, a larger Glock 43? Don't think in terms of size or number with Glocks. So don't look at it and go, well, I don't want a bigger 43. Look at it like this. Maybe some people have got bigger hands than the 43 allows them to grip well, the traditional 43. And then maybe on the other hand, and this gun's empty too, maybe on the other hand, they don't like the thickness of a 26 or a 19. If you look at the specs that were released on the 43X and the 48, it's going to be about 4 millimeters bigger than the 43 and smaller than the 26. So let's just show you with calipers here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop the mag out so I can show you better. I've got the caliper set to 4 millimeters, and what we're going to look at is the thinness or thickness of the 26. So if you imagine, take that distance off, so basically move the sidewall in that much. That's going to be the thickness of the 43X and the 48 grip. So to some people who think this is a fat grip, it feels like a 2x4 and blocky, and they don't like the traditional single stack width of the PPS and the 43 and the 42 and the shield, the 43X and the 48, guys, that may be the perfect size carry gun. It's supposed to hold 10 rounds, which is plenty for self-defense, 10 plus 1, 11 rounds, and it's going to be in a package the same size as the PPS that holds 7 plus 1. So, you know, 3 additional rounds on board and basically the same size gun. And I'll tell you what, guys, what I've liked about the PPS is the fact that it's not a tiny little gun. I've said in videos before, I actually like even the 26 and the shield a little bit bigger than, say, the 43, the 42, and those type of guns as far as optimal. But you have to pick a gun that's going to fit your needs, especially a carry gun. Is a 43 too skinny? No, it works. Okay, can you shoot it well with a flush fit mag? Yes, you can. You conceal it well? Yes. Well, then the 43X wouldn't be for you. If the 43 suits you, perfect. The gun I could see the 43X replacing a lot is going to be my beloved 26, which I still carry. I don't have any plans to change that, but I do plan on getting my hands on a 43X, so look for that on my channel coming up soon. But I could see it replacing, or at least people debating back and forth between a 43X and a 26, because the 26 doesn't fit everybody. It's a bigger, fatter grip, shorter with no pinky, and especially some people carry the 26 with like a PMag or a Glock extended mag, which puts it almost the same size, pretty much the same size as the PPS. Already in length, they're pretty much there, all right? And then in height, let's go this way. Get them lined up. Oop, sorry, wrong way, guys. So in height, top the slides are lined up. You can see they're virtually the same, and that's with an extended mag, which is how a lot of people carry the 26 anyway. So the 43X might be the holy grail for some people. The 26 is too fat, the 43 is too skinny. We might have something that's right in between the two. And with the modularity, the ability to take the 43X frame and put a 48 slide on it, and you could have a competition gun, a home defense gun, or even a carry gun, you know, if you preferred that longer slide. Options are good, guys, and I'm pretty excited about that. You know, Glock takes a beating for not coming to the market with anything new. Well, guys, this is new, and people have been asking for a 19 size single stack for years, and it looks like you're about to get one that's a shade smaller than a 19, but still a single stack. And so that should eliminate the issues with people saying it's too fat of a grip and then saying that the 43 is too small of a grip. So we hopefully have one that's right nestled in between the two, and we'll fill that niche. So again, if you're curious, guys, the PPS M2 is the size of the 43X based on the leaked specs. Again, it's speculation, but I will tell you the pictures that I put up at the beginning, I'll put them up after I'm done here in a minute. Those are actual release drawings, so those are not photoshopped. The 48 is right in front, and on the left side is the 43X. Now, I don't know if they're going to immediately release a stainless steel slide or if that's an option. I don't know, but the 43X 43X and 48 also have front slide serrations as well, which people have been clamoring for with Glocks. So guys, it's an exciting time. You know, we're coming out with a Glock that's the size of the PPS. It holds 10 rounds instead of 7, and it'll be a little bit thicker for those people who don't quite like the thin grip of a traditional single stack. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. I really am. Comments down below. Get a good discussion started. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Are you excited about this? Is it just more Glock junk? Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm expecting polar opposites here with the Glock fanboys and the Glock haters. But you know what, guys? Listen. If it's a reliable company, one that does their best to build good quality handguns, and they're coming out with new things, they're listening to the market, that's something to be excited about. So I'm pretty excited about it. I don't care which company came out with it, whether it's SIG, HK, Glock, Smith & Wesson, whatever. There are some companies, I wouldn't care if they came out with something new. Taurus. Sorry about that, I had an itch in my throat, but some guns are just junk, and I don't care they come out with something new. They're junk. They have a history of producing junk, and they will always produce junk. But we know that the Walther PPS, Glocks, Smith & Wesson, HKs, good quality guns. Have they had teething issues with new models? Absolutely. It's equipment, it's machinery, it's going to fail, it's going to need tweaking as they go along, and we just hope that they get their act together no matter who comes out with a gun that may be having problems at the beginning, so that we can have even more choices out there in the handgun world. So guys, the Walther PPS size Glock 43X is on the way, and in a long slide version in the Glock 48. Look for the 43X right here, coming soon. Thanks for watching.